So I'm back with another quick video about study tips. Just a few of my quick tips for your first year of PT school. First thing, I'll start with school supply shopping. School supply shopping for PT school. Let's say you just got in and you're looking for what kind of things you need to buy to start the school year. Don't go crazy. It's not like undergrad. You don't need all of the markers, color pencils, and everything. If you're more of an artsy type person or a visual learner, those things would be good to have. Markers and pencils in order to draw out all the anatomy stuff. When I started, I was like, oh my gosh, let me go crazy, get everything I need so I can be completely prepared. And then I actually started school, and the only things I actually used my first year were a few note cards. I used a couple note-taking apps, which I'll get to in a minute, and I used like highlighters in my textbooks and then sticky notes. So if you're more like an electronic type student, where you like to do a lot of note-taking on your laptop and all, you don't need a whole lot of things when you go supply shopping. A couple of the note-taking apps I would suggest are either Notability or Everett. I personally use Notability because I started out my first year using an iPad, so it was really convenient to have iCloud for the app, and then you can make different subject headlines and then different notes for everything. So that way it was really easy when I was going back and studying. Everett is kind of an Android PC equivalent. I don't know a lot about that one, but it has a lot of the same features where you can draw on it, you can make edits, and one of the good things about Notability, I know, not sure about Everett, but with Notability you can also do voice recording. So that was awesome when you had a lecture going on. You can take notes and do a voice recording, and as you take your notes, it will kind of bookmark where those keystrokes were in the lecture, so you can go back and listen to that part of the recording. Now on to the juicy stuff about my tips on studying. So for your first year, it's really kind of a baseline of everything, where you have your anatomy and all of your like kinesiology type classes, so everybody can get on the same playing field. So you're gonna have a ton of like information that's gonna be thrown at you at once. I mean, let's be honest, you're not really gonna remember all of it. Like brachial plexus, you ask me to draw it right now, I'm gonna be like, I know there's 5 branches. First year is about getting all of your information and regurgitating as much as you can. Study where you're taking in as much as you can and actually retaining it, but don't get so stressed out with actually remembering and carrying forward like every single thing, because that is the goal, but it's kind of unrealistic with all the information you'll get. Getting adjusted to going to grad school, for physical therapy school anyway, it's kind of hard not to get so like soaked into everything and start drowning and like, oh, I got to study for this, I got to study for that, and then you start getting really stressed out. For me, I started out my first year, like 2 months in, I was already feeling like I was drowning and completely stressed out with the amount of like volume of studying. You know, they expect you to read like 50 pages between 1 or 2 nights before you go to the next class, but you also have to find a balance. So I think it's really important for first year PT students to get into the groove of like studying, but also making time for yourself. So by the time I had gotten through my first semester of PT school, I realized like my routine, what it had to be. I would go to class for 8 hours, then I might try and study and look over a few things, but then I had to completely shut down, restart, and go to the gym to get a little bit of me time, listen to music and relax, and then I could come back and feel a little bit more refreshed when I start studying. So that really helped with my stress levels, and when I was actually being able to retain information, I wouldn't be so like freaked out and stressed out about the test. You also get to a point kind of in school where you just start to realize like you're not doing as great as you want to be doing, but because you and your classmates are most likely going to be in the same boat, y'all are in the same study groups, at least you have like a support system of people that are doing about the same way you are. So that gives you a little bit of relief in knowing that y'all are all like in the same boat, on the same playing field. You don't feel like you're being left behind. those are like my main things as far as study tips. Anything like my program, they're gonna have you figure out what type of learner you are. You wanna know if you're visual, audio, kinesthetic, all of those different type of learning styles. Figure out which way you learn best. So once you get a lecture from a teacher, you can take that information and then replay it back to yourself to study in whichever way you retain the best. So looking at it in different texts, like you get the lecture PowerPoints and you look at it there, and then you have your notes that you actually written out. I would look at it there, and then in a textbook. So I'd be getting the same information in a few different ways, and then just to see it and understand it, and that way will help it sink in. So just to recap, as far as study tips and studying in PT school, don't go crazy with your school shopping. You're gonna be broke for the next few years, and you gotta keep that in mind. Second thing is, don't get too stressed out. It's gonna be a lot of information coming at you, and you just have to figure out time for yourself in the whole midst of everything still. Third thing is learn your learning style, in which way you take in information best. So that's gonna help you with retaining information. So just do the best you can, and I wish everybody good luck. I hope this was helpful to anyone, everyone, someone. That's it.